But that's life though. Life is tough.
Okay, you ask me what kind of guy I like. I like nice guys. I like someone who's really sweet to me, who I can have a nice... I would love a nice best friend for life.
Yeah, lovely meeting you, yeah?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that one
This
always
is yeah, we do. What's up? This is Baron Yam with Wind. This is Baron and Windy. Right now the title is Basterdhood of the Sedentary Skinny Jeans. So y'all ready? Be sure to like the video, leave a thumb up and or subscribe as well, and share. We on to Baron Yam, we upload pretty much every Saturday and Thursday, around roundabouts, and more during the week, depending on if any news stories come up, or if anything happens that makes it so that we have to make some content based on it. We make a lot of esoteric stuff as well. So the topics for today are going to be for Bastardhood of the Sedentary Skinny Jeans are going to be social versus antisocial behavior, simping, normie culture, aka cancel culture, and people who overthink. So we got a few topics. We're gonna trying to make this as short as possible. So if you if you are able to share the video out, just so that enough people can get can watch this, or enough people who have time to watch this can watch it, because it's just going to be a short video hashing out some topics. With that being said, we'll go straight into social versus antisocial behavior. Wind, yeah, you want to go? You want to lead off?
Yeah, sure, why not? And well, social behavior, let's start with the social. Now, as we know, every human being, we pretty much thrive on sociality, on being able to be social with people. That's how typically healthy relationships are formed, with communication. Now, how relationships were supposed to work was through communication.
Mm-hmm.
What we have now, I have not the slightest damn clue. We got a bunch of unsocial, antisocial motherfuckers who think they can be in a successful relationship.
Relationships, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And wonder why, and get mad when shit goes tits up. Completely and utterly tits up. And that's a problem. We got men that can't socialize, which is pretty much a lot of the black pill in the incel community. It's just what it is. When you're antisocial like that, you look for scapegoats, not copes, scapegoats. In case you don't know what a scapegoat is, it's basically you're passing your blame on something, either at something attached with you or your personality, or on something else.
Yeah, because I've actually said it on the videos before that there's a lot of people that make this kind of mistake where they're just blaming everybody else, and they don't really know how to socialize properly. And it's kind of like it's kind of sad, because they always pull like these it's usually people who are SJWs, or who lean more towards the police brutality, and all these and kind of race baiting conversations I've
They
noticed.
got them on both sides. They got them on both sides.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna sugarcoat it. They got them on both sides. You
true.
know,
Hmm.
both sides are both equally horrible with this. They've got them on both sides. You
Hmm.
know, it's just, and that's why one of the reasons why I've been saying the red pill community and MGTOW should be apolitical. They should have no political affiliation because
Hmm.
at this point we have to be the middle ground, and they basically, because of this reason, they have them on both grounds. They have both sides. So the way, from my observation, best thing is basically just say, you know what? I'm not going to be affiliated with anybody's BS. You know, I'm not a supporter of the left. I'm not a supporter of the right. I'm in the famous words of Tico Trent. I'm straight down the middle, just like your mom's pussy.
Mm. Yeah, and I guess I guess there's just a lack of a sense of belonging as a whole in people that would make them want to, I guess, let's seek validation in a group setting, which would be more social behavior, which is partially why you could say a lot of people follow these trends or follow pop culture or wear these skinny boy jeans or Jordans or anything that's trendy or hip or in style to wear. And it's like it is a lot of on both sides of political spectrum, people who are like kind of wear their heart on their sleeve or are at least a little bit more sensitive than than usual people, and it's kind of like you wonder why they're so sensitive, um,
But
and like what could lead to it.
the thing I want to
So
lead
do
back,
things, no sweetheart.
yep. The thing I want to lead back on is with the skinny jeans. I want you to look at women's clothing throughout history. I mean, yes, they had the bell bottom pants that were fucking nut hugging, but at the same note, I want you to look at women's clothing, particularly women's pants from the 1970s on. They had a different flair and a different material. But on the same note, all they had to do was close the bell bottoms. Now I want you to look at the clothing in the 1990s, the 1980s, the 1990s. Women still predominantly wore typically skinny jeans or form-fitting clothing. Typically worked on form-fitting clothing.
Hmm.
And throughout the 90s, throughout
By the
the
way,
early
by the way,
2000s,
you get that picture that I sent you in Discord?
me,
Yeah,
not yet,
it's
but I
got
will.
it's got the
That one.
bodybuild.
Oh,
Yeah, it's got the bodybuilder guy that
yeah,
turned into a trans person. And he's got skinny boy jeans on.
yeah. That's pretty much what it is. It's like they pretty much have, what's the word I'm looking? They pretty much, the clothing has not changed much by today's standards or yesterday's standards. It's just
They
been
really have.
transferred. They haven't. And one of the reasons why I buy my blue jeans in bulk, because today's trends dictate on how clothes are made. I want to get them
Hmm.
before they end up getting taken off the shelf as much as I
Right.
can. But and that being said, is what do you think them skinny boy flat-footed motherfuckers get their shit? And the worst part is they sag their freaking jeans. They
True.
sag. How do you sag skinny jeans? How do you sag skinny jeans? How do you bust a sag with skinny jeans and a belt? How are you
Well,
drawn?
the reason why I called it uh, sedentary is because yeah, it's kind of hard to travel in skinny jeans, kind of hard to do anything in skinny jeans. Like I used to wear I used to wear them all the time because like that's what would buy or that's what my mom would buy me. And then like I slowly started to realize like I hate how these fit. They're just hugging too much. It's like I don't need hugging.
You're ripping
And
the hairs out of your fucking leg. How? I mean,
yep, that too.
you're ripping the hairs out of your fucking legs. You're literally, you're not able. If you're basically one of those people that decide that are in a life of freaking crime, that whether you are a drug dealer or some sort of person, I'm not going to say, but all of the people that I hung out with don't wear skinny jeans. They wear clothes that they can open up their stride in. Skinny jeans are not one of them. You know? Skinny jeans are not the thing that you open up your stride in. And it's like, these kids don't even know where the style sagging came from. These are all
We came from jail. They used to wear it so that they know who to bang.
right. And it's like these are all buck broken. These are all single mother raised buck broken males. I sit outside. They're all single mother raised buck broken males. I mean, shoot, nobody had to work hard to break that buck. You know. I
Well,
mean,
and it's like I guess they've taken a variety and put it into fashion, right? So I mean, you'd say an artist or a creative person displays more antisocial characteristics because they think in contrary to what like a majority of people um envision. You know, that's why they would have like that's why they produce works of art, or their life itself would be a demonstration of a different kind of thing. And the genes, like I guess, are a different reflection of that NPC trend of everything being made for one purpose, one size fits all type thing. So it's everything. It's like form fitting and hugging. It is kind of upsetting,
sad.
kind of when you think about it. Yeah, sad and upsetting, and everything under the sun, because it pretty much gets everybody ready to be like in like the freaking spacesuit for for all intents and purposes, and like I don't know, it's just a strange thing. It's like and then you see a lot of these people that wear skinny boy jeans are like I said before, SJWs, or I guess like they tend to be more of an idea. I've never seen like a practical person who walks around with like a utility belt and like a utility knife, or any sort of like hard construction equipment. Yeah, but with a pair of skinny jeans on, like it's just not gonna happen.
That's just not gonna fucking happen. I don't listen. There's a reason that I wear clothes that are not skinny, but I also don't wear clothes that don't fit, that falling off my ass.
Because like I can understand if you wear it indoors, but like if you're not leaving the house with a belt on, in my opinion, especially given this like climate of lawlessness, you're pretty much asking to be a victim of something, you know.
Right. And it's like I can tell you one thing: don't go down certain neighborhoods sagging your ass. Don't go to jail sagging your ass. That's that you know. Thing is like
definitely
what gets me is like these people have been broken. They are broken. They are a product of their raising, you know? And they don't quite get the fact that they don't walk around with the utility knife. They don't walk around with the Gerber because they can't, as you said, they can't, it ain't gonna happen because it ain't gonna fit. And it's like I see these people
Well, a lot of them are
kinda,
into fitness. I sent you the bodybuilding picture because I wanted to just touch on that. Quite frankly, I mean,
those are not clothes that typically people who were into fitness with me when growing up was when I was growing up were usually wore shorts and a t-shirt, sweatpants, or freaking tracksuits with a hoodie. You know, for cold weather it was a tracksuit or sweatpants and a sweatshirt or a hoodie. It was usually nylon shorts. It was usually stuff that were breathable. And if there any was any type of spandex, it would be on the leg or the arms in the form of Under Armour to wick moisture away from their body, away from parts. It's basically stuff that had a function.
well, I mean, it
Not
makes sense too because it's like making men these like skinny little freaks and like turning them into
but they were worn underneath.
body
They were worn,
positivity.
they were worn underneath the shorts. You know, they weren't advertised for the world to see. I don't like so I typically not like I said I have not seen biker pants until this tomfoolery, you know? It's like I've never seen biker pants until like the 2000s. We all assumed we just wore shorts. They used to wear shorts. I mean, yes, they were a little high, but then again, in the 80s and the 70s and the 80s, they were high to not get caught on things on a bicycle. But these
Well,
biker
yeah, I
pants,
don't. That's the opposite of fashion now, right? I mean, women wear tight-fitting things that expose them, or not even expose them, just lay flat on them and form fit when like they used to wear things that billowed out more. So it's like my thing is like if a girl can fill out a whole skirt or a sundress or something that hardly hugs to her body, that's how you know she's got curves. But nowadays it's like some skinny girl puts on a pair of yoga pants or one of these high waisted jeans, which used to be really popular when I was in school. It's like, come on. It's like
you
that,
ain't got
you don't even have to try. You don't even have to try to have an ass. You just
you ain't got
pick a set of clothing that makes you look good.
right, and it's like pick a set of clothing and put silicone implants in your freaking pants. You know, or like they don't. There was a time where there's no that we weren't they weren't taught. Actually, they were probably most of them were taught but didn't listen, and the ones that weren't taught, I blame their parents. You know,
Yeah.
but
Well, they can't be
you're the
taught. They
they
really
can't,
can't be taught. I mean,
right?
like most of these people can't learn. Like they're incapable of learning new information.
Right, and it's like what's the
Yeah.
point? And then it's like
I noticed that they usually got they usually like and it was about like the kind it kind of is like a normie culture too, like to wear the skinny jeans. Like I noticed a lot of bodybuilder people wear skinny jeans. A lot of I guess like people who are more like self-obsessed and like like skinny like people who are like super thin, always wearing like these thin jeans and stuff to just make them look like slender as possible. Like kind of it's just very feminine. Like they want to look very feminine and yeah, like there's still it's not like everything is like super form fitting because you got people that wear like the oversized t-shirts, big like Jordans or Timberland boots, or like they'll wear the skinny jeans but then they'll wear like huge like clown shoes to go with it,
right, no, look like clowns.
or like a snapback or like a wide rim. It's just there's just all the accessorizing too. I've noticed black nail polish and like black like the sex bracelets and stuff like that. And this is just not it's not stuff that men should wear. It's stuff that women should wear typically. But you know, I'm the right wing conservative if I mention that, obviously. Right.
Right.
Right. Harry.
didn't read apparently. But the thing is, what gets me is my favorite. My favorite is when I see people walking around with goddamn furry animal tails. Oh my goodness!
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and like these guys, like they're such stands when it comes to anime. Like they always pick like they always have like the craziest um like they always have the craziest weirdest choices in anime, like most obscure or like most like most like OG or kind of like normie beta anime like selection. Like they usually watch One Piece or something, or like I don't know how to put it. I'm not trying to like
Well,
talk crap about people because people who
I'm gonna
watch
break
One Piece.
down. Yeah, I'm gonna break down One Piece for you. Everybody was damn thirsty on that place. In that place, I think I got a I got some suspicion that Luffy was sus. You know,
Hmm.
because he's the only one that's not reacting to that to orange goddamn tree chick, the orange tree melon chick. He's the only one not react. He's one of the only ones not reacting to orange tree melon chick and a goddamn blackberry sister, blackberry
Hmm.
headed melon sister. So that begins to ask some questions because come on, you don't know who wears capris with a goddamn neck shift and shirt that rides up like that. Come on, really?
Yeah, and then like I notice a lot of people will wear like scarves and the stocking cap with like layers. It's like, okay, if you're gonna wear layers on top, why would you wear ripped skinny jeans? It kind of like implies that you're the opposite of what you're trying to feel, right? Feel warm, but you got like cut skinny jeans and stuff.
I remember when clothes you pay full price for clothes, you get the whole damn cloth. You know?
Yeah, that sounds like some old man shit. I'm not gonna lie, Win, but I do
Yeah.
get what you're saying though. Like I
Like I
remember you
said,
used to
I
get the
remember
whole
there was
cloth.
a time when you buy clothes, you bought the whole damn pair of pants, not goddamn shit left over from the weed whacker or the lawnmower.
And
You
I've
know?
just noticed that because I've been I would work, right. I work around a lot of people who are the skinny jean type person. And they all have girlfriends or they're married or they have kids and stuff. And I'm just like, it literally speeds up your life. It's almost like skinny jeans and all this fashion is like a click remote because it gives women immediately what they want out of you as a man, which is like to control you and constrict you. And you're basically like as a man, we do have peacocking tendencies and we do tend to, I guess, communicate like you said about how relationships have fallen. We've communicated how we view relationship dynamics based on the clothes that we wear.
But the funny thing about it is, those are the most unsocial motherfuckers you'd ever meet. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and that gets into the topic because we're talking about paradoxical
Right.
behaviors, which is like that's what you see most of the time. The people that follow the trends, and this is something that I think like if you want to help somebody learn how to actually enact change, sometimes you actually and this is like something that I will give up to the skinny jeans people since we're going to be going in on them so much is that they actually that is one way to approach changing people's mind is to go so opposite in the direction of normies that you make being a normie not cool, and you make it so that normies, rational level-headed normies, are pretty much sick of the trend. So you get that because you can't just go, like I said, if I were to just start saying this in public, I would be labeled right-wing misogynist because I'm trying to control. I'm making a criticism on how men dress. So it's kind of like one of those things where
I
you
don't
have
give
to
a
like
damn.
you actually have to tread carefully and learn from these people and how they do things because sometimes they're their emotions are actually spot on with what would actually drive people and motivate people. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck their feelings.
Yeah.
Fuck their feelings.
Tell me, kids.
You know, like I don't give a fuck about their emotions on how they're feeling, because when you start giving a fuck about people's emotions, you end up you basically end up as the goddamn catalyst for any type of goddamn problem. You basically end up as the catalyst, nothing more, nothing less. By bowing down their emotions, you basically are bowing down in general.
Yeah, and in the manosphere, we have, I guess, two split sections, right? We have the social side, and they have the antisocial or the non-sharing side. Which, just to go into it, the social side is basically you're showing all your dirty laundry out in public. Your life really is the message of your channel, whether you show your face or not. It's kind of you're selling yourself. That's the social side. And I've also noticed the social side tends to really care about the attention and the I guess like the kind of the things related to like a social blade page. They tend to hyper-emphasize that. And not necessarily the self. Hold on, and not necessarily like the not necessarily like the well-being of other people. It's only popular, or it's only right to ask them about their well-being if they are if they're on your channel, or if they're on your panel, if they're providing content or information to your show. Otherwise, it's all about them, is what I've noticed. And again, that's more kind of like this like social cohesion, which I talked about a lot of my videos. Like I don't make content to join up with the manosphere. I kind of make content in my own lane, and then people come to me to be like, hey, we should do a story, or I go to them with a specific goal and purpose. I don't like to make content just to like chum it up with people, unless it's trolling trolls or something where it's like there's an underlying plan or overarching plan. And I noticed that a lot of the way that most people want to, I guess, live the lifestyle is to be as random as possible. Because if they can escape the structure and stuff, then it makes kind of easier on them, or I guess they don't have to accept as much responsibility if stuff goes wrong.
Right. But the
is
thing
what
is,
I noticed.
There's a lack of a balance in it. It is highly unbalanced, and it's like the semblance of normal is usually based on societal standards, societal views on normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, like when it comes to red pill things, I guess like you're more looking for, when you make videos, you're trying to bring some sort of like thought and stillness to some people. Whereas like I think most people, their approach to red pill is to just, shove them down your throat, which I mean like is basically, well, one, it's very insane. It's very, I guess, like psychotic to want to constantly make people angry and want to provoke people. Like I don't really believe in provoking. Like I do believe in defending yourself, and in doing that, you're going to have to like respond with equal force, right? But if you really think about it, there's really no reason to be out here provoking people as often as no holds barred as we kind of have been doing recently with the content and stuff. Like I think, well, sorry to get back to what you're saying. The social behavior is to do this real world type drama bullshit, but in reality, it's not. It doesn't actually create a sustainable relationships with people. It kind of just wears them out. And another antisocial behavior is to get people into a false sense of security in order to get them to have like an emotional or mental breakdown. And a lot of times you see very selfish people who want to, I guess, expose that, or let that kind of people's personal information and stuff come out live on air, which is
Right.
just yeah, it's just a result of, wanting to fit in and wanting to rise through the ranks and things like that, and kind of being a corporate a corporate
Normal.
slave or a corporate drone or something like that. Yeah.
And then, like, the thing is, like, the sad part about it is some people want nothing more than to get a gotcha moment. And this
Yeah, because once
right
they
here,
got you, you can keep coming back.
right. But the thing is, like, when they got you, you keep coming back because you like being exposed, you know?
Right. And that's another form of that's another kind of abnormal behavior, right? Right. Like typically you'd want to
Keep
well,
things
I don't know.
going.
I guess those are two spheres that never mix, right? Because in your daily life, you share stuff about what happened, right? If somebody asks you, you know, when were you born? You tell them. You don't try to dodge the question, or you don't try to like lie to them or try to give them like some references so they can guess around about when you were born. It's kind of just disingenuous, you know.
It used to
Um,
be, like I said, it used to be, and now what's going on with this gets into cancel culture.
but like yeah, exactly. And it's like they want to be like kind of like a cowboy, like a drifter or something. You could say.
The
Um,
Cowboys are dead. The government made damn sure of that.
mhm.
Just like the government made damn sure there were no cowboys left. You know, they made damn sure of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in reality, we as much as we all want to chill and hang out, to quote the great words of No Sweetheart, most of the time around the Waffle House is where most of the violence happens.
Right.
You know,
You got it's
so
usually about a certain time of
so
the fucking
so if
day.
you're having battered men who have been through the ringer, the last place you want to bring them is to kind of like a place like the Waffle House. You kind of want to go and do something outdoors, or do something that's kind of like it kind of like frees your mind from the daily repetitiveness and stuff in it. Or you want to kind of travel with them, you want to get them to see the world and see how great the things around them can be. Because that's how you prevent people from having an emotional breakdown, or that's how you kind of facilitate it. And I noticed like these the people with skinny jeans and stuff, it's like they're having kids so early in life. And like think about it, like they're having all these children and all this responsibility,
But they're
and
not ready for it.
right, which is kind of like a pressure. It's like they've been pressured to do it, but in the end of the day, it is their situation. It is their own, or it's their decision to do it. Like they put themselves in that situation, which is sad.
Based on how their parents have told what their
What's up,
parents have
Shinobi
told them.
One? What's up, Hidden?
Like I said, based on what their parents have told them.
Mhm.
I
I
don't.
notice a lot. A lot of them they love their mama. They love their
Mhm.
mama.
But it's an unhealthy relationship.
Hmm.
An unhealthy relationship with their mother. Think about it. A mother was supposed to be there to nurture and encourage their children. Their children. Note that I said children, not their sons, and not their sons, not their daughters. Their children. The father is supposed to be there to teach their children. Note that I didn't say sons, daughters, their children. You know? So do you think that these skinny jean
Well,
motherfuckers, these
no,
black
no, 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 no. Like I get what you're saying, but a man in general you're just supposed to be able to protect the people around you.
right,
All right. You shouldn't be the social justice warrior who's violent in his community because he believes in people in Pakistan having their rights or something like that, or people in a different country. You have to protect the people around you regardless of
No.
what, your innermost dream of or fantasy of what life should be like or what it's going to be like or your fears or things like that. That all that stuff is meaningless. That's what they've gotten us to focus on now with
And
all of this like programming and stuff. And
and
bottom
the best
line,
part
the
is
one thing that you have to do is just be able to protect the people around
yourself
you.
and the people around you. Now, I got a
Yeah.
question for them. What the flying fuck made them the goddamn moral police? You know? And I wanted to kind of touch a little bit on cancel culture. A little bit, but what the hell made them the goddamn moral police? You know? And when we get to there, I'll just let you know what I mean. It's like they're emotionally weak. If just think about it, if something were to go wrong with society, and they had to live, look at Texas, look at the people in Texas during a snowstorm. All the feminized people who have never experienced snow a day in their life, all the weak-minded individuals, the single mothers who never in their entirety of their life have never experienced what it's like to be cold. Look at it this way. A lot of people got fucked up. Hold on.
Are you there?
I'm still there. Just somebody asked me a question here. I don't know how the hell this works out, but okay. Trying to give this person something that he needs, and oh hell, I don't even know if I can do that. Oh,
Go ahead, finish what you were gonna say.
but the thing is like they are quick. They are quick to. I can't reach that damn plug. Goddamn. They are quick to. No, damn. I lost my train of fucking thought. Yeah, I can't reach that fucking plug.
Is it?
But the thing is like they are quick. Oh damn! What was the last thing I said before I had to mute myself?
You were going on about something.
Yeah, but it's like the thing is they aren't able to perform the task that is required of them. Like the people in Texas. Oh yeah, that's where I was. People in Texas, they ain't never been cold before. They ain't never. Hell, they ain't never heard of a blanket. You know.
Yeah.
And look what happened to them. Say, for instance, the society where the collapse due to an ice age. How fucked would they be?
Mm-hmm. Cancel culture is what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. These cancel culture people are a lot weaker. These people who support and basically partake in cancel culture, they're a lot weaker.
Oh, they're very weak.
They're a lot weaker than they know.
Mm.
People who shut them restaurants down, they're a lot weaker than they know. What they don't understand is them people who have restaurants, they got kids. You know?
Mm-hmm.
One day when
Yeah.
that restaurant's closing down, as the last person is exiting, as they see what happened, they're gonna come up to that person as this person's exiting that store, that restaurant, and they're gonna look at them. They're gonna get up close to their face, and they're gonna look at them. And these are the words. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that I'm crazy. These are the famous words that are gonna be issued out to them. This is the famous conversation.
Well,
Why
I
are
just
you
noticed like a lot of the people that are like a lot of the blue pill, so quote unquote people that I was talking about before,
Mhm.
like they aren't really violent people unless somebody who's red pill is trying to, I guess I guess, mentally break them down, or I guess throw a bunch of things their way to sort of like get them to wake up. And I
Right.
realized it's kind of like sleepwalking. Like if you wake up somebody when they're sleepwalking, they're like liable to endanger themselves or other people.
Right. But the thing is, like, what I'm saying is, I'm gonna give you a breakdown of a famous conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Their sons or daughters gonna walk up. They're gonna look at them. They're gonna walk up and stare at them in their faces, and the conversation was, "Why are you this close looking to me?" And the son or daughter is gonna say these famous words. These words will become famous among the merchant community and the cancel culture. I just want to remember your face. I just want to make sure make sure I remember your face. And then they're gonna stare at him directly in their eyes, and they're gonna walk off. It's gonna begin. And that's gonna be the beginning, and that's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be the beginning of the cancel culture retribution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they want to be in the position of celebrity, because if you're dumb enough to stick your head in a lion's mouth, if you're a celebrity, people give you a pass because that's what you should be good at. That should be your specialty. But as a normal person, the everyday person, we're not asked to take those sort of silly risks. And when other people are trying to drag us into doing something that's that dangerous and we say no, that's cancel culture in a nutshell, which is basically just getting us all ready to be in the Hunger Games and do stuff like that,
Oh,
and turn on each other. Yeah, eventually it's going to be like that. And I guess there's this whole I guess like like I said, hypersensitivity.
my question is, what made them the moral police? You're ensuring that a person's going to starve. You know, what makes you any better?
Well, they're capitalizing off the political trichotomy. They're capitalizing off the fact that we live in a society. So again, it's back to these antisocial behaviors,
Right.
which is to where is to put decals on your car, wear black nail polish, be edgy, listen to all the progressive music and things like that, alternative. But it's just yeah, it's kind of like a way that the normies, you could, I guess, normies, they try to stand out, or try to fit in with people who are, I guess you could say, more established in terms of their manhood, or not looking to prove anything to anybody. Like I said, the opposite of there's two sects in the manosphere. You have the social side, and then you have the non-social side. I don't want to say antisocial side, because you got that on either side of the coin, basically.
Right. But there's a side that regularly does collabs, and there's a side that it's difficult to get them to even talk to you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the side that's basically protecting themselves and understanding that protecting themselves comes first. And those are the sides that you're never gonna get. Many people are never gonna get acknowledgement from. You know.
Yeah, and like I said, it's these people that are always trying to catch you in a gotcha moment, that are really they're just emotional.
Right.
And it's like it doesn't make sense to me, because there's out of all the things that we could, I guess, subscribe to, the one thing that we choose to subscribe to is something that's going to anger us, or that we're going to have to put on an act like we are disappointed or angry at something. When I mean, I think the majority of these people are contented. That's why, that's why they like the place that they're at. They're not looking to change at all or improve themselves.
They're not.
Like you said, they enjoy being exposed. They enjoy having, they enjoy having their feelings poked at, even if it makes them extremely uncomfortable, which is like, it kind of is shows that this person has abandonment issues.
Right.
In that if a feeling is so bad that they don't they will that it's making them uncomfortable, they don't even really want to leave. They want to sit there and
To the
stew in that
wallow.
feeling and
The
wallow in it,
thing
right?
is,
And it kind of and it's like overthinking too. You want to, instead of just living your free life, you have to sort of rationalize why you're being here why you're being a prisoner in somebody else's life, or a prisoner in someone else's head, by making
right.
them try to hate you, making them try to dislike you, by trying to get under the skin. And it goes to what I was saying about normie culture. It's like, how can you not just sit there and be the same person that you are in real life online? Like, what's the deal with all of this? I understand like a gradual transition, but what's the point in in real life? Do people ask you, when you were born?
No, they don't. They could give two fucks.
Right.
They could give two golden fucks. And where a lot of people fail is,
Yeah. So I mean, in the real life, there's none of this troll stuff. There's no, you can't be afraid of getting doxxed in real life. So it's like, if that's more comfortable, right, living, then I guess why put yourself in that situation? Is what I see, how I see it.
the thing is, you have to, like I said, in order, I'm going to get doxxed eventually. I know it.
Mhm.
I'm going to get doxxed eventually. It's just, the thing is, I have backdrops in place for when that happens.
Mhm.
I have a backdrop, a backsplash in case that happens. And the thing is, like, just as much as other people don't make preparations for when they get doxxed, they don't know how to move on with their lives. But they don't know. Look, a lot of what I mean is, like, not even before they get doxxed or after they get doxxed, in general.
Yeah.
And that's where you get the emotional side of the social and the quote unquote socially antisocial manosphere.
Mhm.
And if you were to ask
Right, because
anybody that
you're dealing with these people that have lost their sense of self, or repressed it to the point where they're not actually they don't actually exhibit genuine emotions. I guess they exhibit like pieces of emotion that they've gathered from other people, that they've sucked from other people, and their stories, their mentality. I mean, their, like I said, fear of abandonment is a reflection of this. And as a, like I said, as a group, we all collectively observe this, and it gets ingrained, even if we don't acknowledge it verbally or non-verbally. It is ingrained into our psyches, that this person acts the way that they act. And so I think naturally people tend to gravitate, or are just tend to naturally be repelled by certain individuals, based on their disposition.
right?
um which, that's why I mean, there's a reason to the trolls, there's a reason to the drama. There is no injustice when it comes to people following you, uh looking closely at what you do, paying attention to what you say, and criticizing it. But yeah,
Well,
like,
yeah,
there's no hard
also
feelings. There's no hard feelings about it and stuff like that. What?
the thing is like that. It's like the thing that they will, but you already know that they will do anything in their power to ensure that they can get some sort of identifying factors about you.
Mhm.
This is how bad it is.
Well, yeah,
And
because
so,
they're avoiding being exposed, right? They do not want to be exposed. If they're exposed, then I mean, obviously, the whole world comes crashing down.
No, not the whole world. Their whole world comes crashing
Yeah.
down. They don't know
Mhm.
how to bounce. They don't know how to bounce back of it. They didn't put the backdrops in place.
Yeah,
They
or
didn't
they
put
are
the-
the back, or they are the backdrop.
which is not a very good backdrop. You know, because the worst enemy can be yourself. Like if you
Yeah, well,
rely on
that's what I
only
noticed. Right, I noticed that. I noticed that. Right,
if
yeah,
you rely on only yourself, you are in reality fucking yourself.
right.
You have to rely on not only yourself, but you have to basically have friends that you can trust further than you can throw them.
Mhm.
You also got to
And not these people that claim to be your friend, are like you know, or like are very interested in doing things for you. Because I'll tell you in a minute, like yeah,
they
like
will
I'm not going to
some
be asking
people them
like
people will
I'm
fuck
not
you without a reach around. Them people
right,
will fuck you
exactly.
without reaching around.
Exactly. If you have a friend, like it's going to take a lot in order for them to betray you, you know.
Right. It's
Hopefully
gonna take a
nothing, but
lot for them to leave you stranded, ass out, cash out in the ditch. You know, they will. A friend will fight with you through insurmountable odds. You know, a friend will do the dirt with you. You know what I mean? They will do the dirt with you, and that's the thing.
I think that's I think that's what I was trying to say. I think I made a mistake.
It's okay. I mean, we all make mistakes. We're only human. The thing is,
Well,
like,
no, I mean,
they,
but just thinking about it, thinking about Billy the Goat's comment, it makes sense to me now because of you know, it wouldn't like being exposed about who you are is kind of like the way that like people who wear skinny jeans, I guess, operate, right? I mean, especially if they're health conscious, they don't really care that people see them that their legs are like, you know, twigs, basically.
right.
Or they don't they it doesn't really matter. Is that what's in? If you were to walk up to somebody with ripped jeans and like be like, you look like an idiot, I don't know if they would have much. I don't know if they, you know, or I don't know if they would be worried about the exposure. They would just be, they would be hurt. Their feelings would be hurt because you said something, you didn't like something about them, which is like what Billy the Goat's saying. People want approval above everything else, above integrity, above dignity. People just want approval. So I mean, you can if you seek approval and it causes you to be denigrated, that should fill you with a sort of the sense of urgency or expediency because you're thinking, okay, yeah, this is, you know, I'm getting some sort of validation or approval, but these people don't actually value me. They're more here just for the exposure. They're not here to, you know, they don't care if you look good or bad. They're just here because you know, you're facilitating the thing for them. And it's kind of like what I think about now when I think of a lot of the friends I used to grow up around or used to surround me, I guess. Um, they necessarily were just looking for some sort of like positive some sort of like validation from me. And you know, you know, and it's kind of like the normie thing to do, right? Is to look for look at things or react to things, I guess you should say. Like you're looking for someone whose ideas you can be like, that's an extreme way of thinking. Oh, he's an extremist. Or like people skinny jeans, whenever I used to tell like, hey dude, look, like be careful, they used to look at me like, you know, they didn't know what to say because they were, it's almost like they were thinking about the way that their mom would respond to it, and they didn't have an answer because she raised them to think only one way about a certain thing, or to think that what they were born with, the knowledge that they were born with, will be able to get them through life, and that they wouldn't need to grow or experience being wrong or experience being in an uncomfortable or experience being in like a just being still and being and being I guess soothed. So it's kind of like I see a lot of people that another thing that I realize that people do around me is they'll be like, oh yeah, I have ADHD, or oh I feel like I have ADD. I can't pay attention to anything. And I just always thought that was funny how people around me always used to claim to have attention deficit to a certain extent, which is like it's just strange to me because like these are the kind of people that like pop the like Adderalls or behavioral meds or something and in order and then they want to which is like to me I'm like yeah if you can't pay attention to something then why force yourself to like if something else interests you do that don't you shouldn't have to take a drug in order to exist in a world if that's not the world you want to live in. There's plenty of other different virtual realities to occupy yourself with, right? Like if you have to medicate yourself in order to stay in a certain environment, it's like you best it might be just because they're wearing skinny jeans and they can't get up and actually walk somewhere else.
But yeah, I mean, sorry. I mean, I was in this conversation, but still, it's like I didn't catch a whole lot of the stuff you said, but because I was in a conversation, and I had to mute
You
my
have
mic.
80 you have ADD
Yeah. It's like
perception.
it's
Okay.
not ADD. It's not ADD. It's not attention deficit hyperactive deficit disorder. What it is basically a paycheck for the doctors for people like for. I was a high actively
Yeah, it's
active
basically
kid.
what it is.
If you
Like when
run,
when people
if
when people
you
say like I have ADHD, what you're saying is the
you're a
doctors in
weak
my area
motherfucker.
are not getting they're not getting paid enough. Yeah, that's what you're that's
Right. That's
essentially what
pretty
you're
much what
saying.
it is. Is like the thing is like when you have a child that is quote unquote ADHD, you have to exert. They have energy that you have to burn off of them. Picture like look at a dog. Look at a dog that a puppy. In order to train said puppy, you have to take it out for a walk. You have to play with it. You have to tire it out, and that's when you get training. That's when you get training involved. Training complete. You know, look how schools are set up. They're talking about doing away with sports programs. They're talking about doing away with activities, PT, gym, the gym activity, exercise things. They're talking about doing away with all of this that allows kids to run their energy off. They're talking about doing away with it. And when you do away with something like that is important and force boys who have a lot of energy to sit down and do something that does not and do something an activity or read something that does not interest them, or you penalize them for drawing something that typically the boys draw. Here's where you get these.
Well, we lost him for a second. I heard what he said though. That's true. And he fell out. Uh yeah. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid. So I know what he's talking about. And he's back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I know what you were talking about. It's kind of something I had to go through myself personally. Which I never gave up on school because that's pretty much my only lifeline, honestly. And I think like where was like one of my only lifelines because I didn't really grow up with around like a tool shed or a place where I could actually do stuff with my hands. So I really had to apply myself as in school. and I still wasn't that good. But I had to focus on my grades because it really was the only outlet. And the sports was fun, but I couldn't. I was more of a, I guess I was more of an outcast and less of like, I guess, a starring sports player. I kind of had more.
I mean,
I did more of the I did more of the the creative things, or anything creative. I would I would attach myself to, but
I was
like
an
it was.
outcast. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'll let you finish. Yep.
Well, yeah, the the thing about me was that I was always kept to myself, and I would still have people who wanted to play, or who wanted to, well, they want to mess with you, but then once they realize that they can't really mess with you, then they're like, oh, this person's actually pretty cool. So like that's been pretty much everybody's introduction to me as a person. And so I have no problem telling somebody to fuck off. I have no problem ignoring somebody or never seeing them or speaking to them ever again, because as long as I still feel okay with who I am, then there's nothing that another person can say to me or do to me to make me feel like I need them around, or give to me, or whatever, because I've always dealt with that from very young age. And it's kind of gets into what we were talking about with the whole antisocial behavior, because like given my me and my politics and stuff, a lot of people will be like, oh, he's antisocial, he's a loner, and things like that. But if you call me, if you want to talk to me, you realize like I'm a very jovial person. I might be conscientious, or I might be calculated or something, but I'm actually very I'm actually able to have a conversation with and stuff, and not be needy in that conversation and things like that. I will get like that occasionally, but that's why you should have people who you can truly rely on, not just people who are looking to catch you in with your pants down, or catch you looking vulnerable or something, because that's married life. That is cohabitation life. That's life with more responsibility that you can handle. So when you pile
Amen.
that stuff on, it doesn't when you pile that stuff on it, married life actually beats out the complicated life of
The,
most of these
the
people.
thing is, there was once a time where
Shinobi, but Shinobi one, like he said, I liked it so much I hit it twice. And Win fell out for some reason. Hold on, while he's doing that, let me do something real quick. We got him back. Welcome back, Wind.
I'm back. And the thing, there was once a time where I'm trying to unfuck my mic.
Well, did you unfuck her yet? Mm-mm. He's not unfucked. He is. Wait, where this internet's going, he's fucked. Yeah, I think Win knew the day before he was born.
The thing,
What's
yeah.
up?
Yeah, sorry about that. Well, what I was trying to say
You're
is
fine.
like, there was once a time where, I mean, it might have been before any of our fathers and our grandparents were born, where married life was, you knew each other's vulnerabilities, but you never destroyed each other,
Destroyed each other. Right. Right.
and you never tried to destroy each other. You always looked to support each other, you know. And I want you to, I mean, look at we've said this, had this conversation before. Text messaging versus cursive writing and snail mail. You know, text
Mhm.
messaging versus cursive and snail mail. You had to eagerly wait on a letter, not knowing what this person's going to say. And where you can get now things is like instant gratification. Writing letters were were an art form at one point, were a value with an art form with the cursive writing, which a lot of it has failed by the wayside.
Mhm.
The thing is,
Well, what I noticed is like, yeah, the chicken scratch in which we like, I guess you say proverbially type nowadays is less aware than the cursive of actual physical than I guess like the eloquence of the actual physical
right.
cursive writing, and yet it's more accessible and it's easier to interact with than I guess what you would say is like somebody who puts thoughts into what they say,
You
like
can't,
hate clicks
right.
and you know, in drama are
You
the
can't
new are the new is kind of
standard.
small, yeah, yeah, I was gonna say like small talk or something, but yeah,
The new
it's
standard. But the thing is, like,
yeah.
you can't say what you can't say things from the 1950s or the 1940s or 30s or beyond today because that labels you as weak, you know? And one of the reasons why I don't like text messaging, I tolerate phone calls, but I don't like text messaging, you know?
Mhm.
And it's impersonal. It's literally impersonal. It's you don't put thought. Everything is basically type a couple letters and spell and type the word that gets closest to it.
It's a very unstable. You can actually see it with the phenomenon of like an autocorrect system
Right.
because it's just very like I said, it's very short-sighted. Like if there's something that someone needs to know right away, putting it into, you know, a text is like, and I have these people who will like send me pass pictures like kind of in a passive aggressive kind of way, and I'm like, well, you know, you could have that like you could have just, you know, instead of sending me a picture, you could have like called me, and you know, there's just nothing to supplement it with, which is I think it shields people who are kind of tend to be like exhibit narcissistic tendencies, or people who are kind of antisocial, because it gives the illusion of communicating when really you're the one that's having to do most of the work in the interaction. You have to decipher what they're saying, then you have to codify what you're saying as to not hurt their feelings, and it's just so much extra work that I can see why men in general don't want to participate in the process. But that's the thing, you still have to master the art of communicating. It just has to be in a way that it has to be in your style. You can't mimic the style of someone else and expect it to fly right.
Verbally, and what I'm saying is, what the text message does nothing but exacerbate the social condition of people. You know,
Hmm.
it exacerbates it, allows it to
Hmm.
get worse, and it it
But like I
is.
said, I don't mind ignoring somebody. I really don't mind ignoring somebody, because if they have a feeling, and I had to learn this the hard way. So, you know, if they have a feeling, then me feeding into them is, oh, Cypher said this a freaking few days ago too on one of the trolling trolls or bleeding edge red pills.
Right.
Like they're if you see a valley, right, in a text message, you don't want to go descend into that valley.
Right.
You don't have to. That's why if like if you get a letter, you don't have to respond to that letter. You know, exactly. It's like everything is shifted. There's nothing is the same in regards to communication, but then again, nothing really new under the sun at all either.
Let me break this to you. You know what? And I attribute a lot of the stuff that's going on. Well, a lot of these men, these young males, I don't know. The society has shifted to where the word men is going to be attributed to these antisocial weaklings, and it's like,
Well, they use communication in order to
right, and
predate their specimens. Like they're like literally they use stuff to it's all they become such good manipulators
right. The
that
thing is, like, the question you should be asking is, how many of these young males have gone through some sort of trauma? You know, how many of these young males have gone through some sort of trauma, whether it be by family, by friends, by just being on a playground. How many of them have gone through some sort of trauma they couldn't directly come back from? That's the thing I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
A lot of these young men may have gone. I'm only just saying is may have gone through some sort of trauma that they could not recover from. You know, and or have seen some sort of trauma that they couldn't recover from.
True.
And for them to be
Yeah.
wearing these skinny jeans and showing and wearing it below their behind, it's a bit unnerving, because if these people who are going through who went through trauma, they're going to pass that down to their children. They're going to pass that same trauma down to their children.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we're literally we literally are experiencing the problems that our grandparents have had, their grandparents have had.
right,
It's not, I mean, you could say things are harder now, but it's just because it's not like the problems are different. It's the same problem. Just the can was kicked or the ball was punted, and now we caught it. We're on the receiving end, and now we just have hordes of all these people to I guess wade through in order to get to the other side.
right. And it's like the damage that it's going to do to society.
Oh, it's gonna wreck society.
Oh, it's going to be unsurmountable. It's going to be unsurmountable. Society is going to look here. It's going to need to be to the point where there needs to be some sort of therapy for these people. You know, these people may have to need to go through therapy, but we both know that because they are males,
Hmm. They're not gonna be put into therapy.
they're not gonna get that therapy that they need. They're not gonna get the help
They're
that they
just
need,
and
including in
especially
this.
especially they're SJWs, so they're gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
resources. They're gonna get
they're gonna.
resources by the bucket loads.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get resources by their bucket list. But the thing is that they're
Hmm.
not going to get the necessary help that they need, that they desperately need. And it's not only just desperately, it's adamant that if they do not get therapy, they're going to be the ones that are going to be the educators, and they're going to destroy a lot of people. They're going to hurt and harm a lot of people. They're going to hit
It's
the
happened in the
fact.
manosphere over and over again, and it's always
It's
around
not
this
a,
time of the year too. It's always around this
watch this.
specific.
Watch. Hear this. I want you. How many genders are there? Yeah.
38,468,000.246812.
How? No, seriously. How many genders are there?
2.
Exactly. Exactly. You see. You
I
understand.
don't get
Are
it.
you beginning to grasp where I'm going?
Well, what were you talking about before?
Oh, it says, I asked you. Like, we were talking about the problems that people are going to face.
Yeah.
Now, now, I want you, anybody in the comment section, I mean, anybody, before you start typing your SD, your stuff, I want you to really hear what I have to say. You're all about pro-choice, right? You're all about pro-choice, right? Pro-life, or not pro-choice, pro-choice or pro-whatever, right? That right? But are you sure you're all about pro-choice and equal choice, or are you about sterilizing all men? The sterilizing boys, or basically pumping boys full of hormones without giving them a chance to say anything about it. I'm going to call out the stuff that needs to be called out. You got a boy in Texas that's trying to fight for himself, for him to be a boy, and he's losing. He's losing that fight. He's going to lose that fight. Ultimately, he's going to lose. He's going to lose that
I think
fight.
we have a lot of things that are geared to quote help men in society, like bars, ale houses, clubs, churches,
But the way
hospitals,
churches,
a lot of the yeah,
churches. Did you just say churches?
yeah, yeah. Well, well, they're a little bit more, I guess, confrontational to the male subject. Waffle
Because
houses.
I wouldn't like to. Let me break this to you. You got bars, but they're not the bars that were helpful. They're not the same bars that our great grandfathers went to. Their great great grandfathers went to. They're not the same bars. They're not as helpful. They're not helpful as the bars that our great great grandfathers, the saloons that our great great grandfathers went to. They're not helpful.
Yeah.
At least those saloons, you could, for a night, for a reasonable price, and for a night.
Yeah,
You
I
can
would
at
say
least,
it's different than what you're talking about, because I know what you're talking about, but there's this song called "The Water Is Wide," and it's like the river. Yeah, it's pretty much like the river where the river, I get where you can enter in the river is shallow, but the body of water is so wide itself, like to try to cross it, you know,
you ever heard of a saying called,
without wings to actually fly over it, I think will be resulting in your
you ever heard of a
getting
saying
drowned
called
or getting swept away.
still waters run deep? You ever heard of a saying called still waters run deep?
Hmm.
It's pretty much the same thing. Still waters run deep.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, what I'm trying to get you to get at is, like, the churches are not helpful to men.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, like, or
The
the bars or
churches,
something, like
the
the well is
churches,
run dry already. The well of mhm.
yeah, the church's main purpose today, to this day, as of right now, as of this year, as for the past 2 decades, maybe even more, has been to ensure that women could have their fun. The bachelor party is never for the male. It's for her friends. It's not for the man, it's for her friends. You know, it's not for the man. The wedding is not for the man. It's for the woman. We understand this. We know this. We understand this. As I said, the bachelor party is not for the man. It's for her friends and for her to spy on the man. You know, that's the reality of the situation where it is. It was never meant for the man. From now, there may have been a time where it was meant for both parties, where tradition was where you cannot see the bride's face and before the day of the wedding. The thing is, that's an old sentiment. That's an old sentiment. You know, it's an old sentiment and a superstition nowadays. The thing is, I'm trying to loop this all together. We live in a time where it is now socially acceptable to destroy people's life because to destroy a person's life because of feelings, because of emotions.
Well,
I'm gonna bring,
their emotions are on the menu. They're on the menu.
Right. I'm gonna bring something in here, and typically I don't normally do this. I don't want to bring any bad blood, but look at MAGA Man. No offense, but look at MAGA Man. You know?
Yeah.
And as much as I don't want to rag on somebody, I'm not trying to rag, but if we are naturally, I'm going to take you back to something, Chris Rock. Men love unconditionally. Men
True.
are loved under certain conditions.
Also true.
Now, because we love unconditionally, it allows us to be destroyed.
Yeah. Well, I think they want commit. They want to commit to something.
We want to, like I said, it allows for the destruction.
At least I do. At least I want to commit to something. You know.
I would love
It's just that my standards are just. I mean, I like to think my standards are just too high to commit to anything, but
Yeah, but your
maybe
standards
I
are
could,
just fine. Your standards are just fine, yeah.
yeah. Well, I've never been married, so in a blue pill person's eyes, my standards
We have
are not, they're not validated or they're not verified by anybody. No one can really, unless I go with a previous relationship, which I don't think is a good idea of saying what my standards are. Everyone's gonna think that I have it. I'm just responding to what
Let me
Billy the
break
Goat has been saying.
I am not going to drop my standards for nothing. You should
And
not drop your
that's sad,
standards.
Shinobi. I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe it was more of a spiritual experience for you. Maybe the engagement was stage was what you needed in order to reach that threshold, whether it was through power or through you know your own experiencing of your limitations as a man. And I think when Billy changed it to committed to it, I think that's a good correction, because in reality, I mean, I want to reach my limitations. Obviously, it's just that I may not want to be committed to something that my little head, is like, yo, commit to this, So it's kind of like that's something that I think is important to keep in mind when we're talking about how people, like the illusion of choice, because a lot of people they won't be satisfied with what your standards are unless they see you trying to prove what they are to other people, kind of like trying to be exposing it, or because a lot of standards comes down to personal introspection and dealing with your demons and you're facing your fears.
Like I said, I still got a lot of. I mean, the thing is, everybody. I said everybody has their own demons. You know, I have mine. I mean, I'll air out some one of mine. I don't know if I told it. I mean, I said this on not Renegade, but MGTOW Savior's channel, that about some of my demons. Like, you ever, like, say, like getting repeatedly kicked in the balls. Now,
Hold on, keep going. I gotta...
you repetitively kicked in the balls. When you get repetitively kicked in the balls, that's a hard reset. You know, in a way, that is a hard reset. Once, okay, move on. Twice, you got my attention. 3 times, or 4 or 5 plus, that's a hard reset. And then, and as you're on the ground, writhing in pain, you get the person who pushed that hard reset says something that literally destroys you. You know, like picture a kid basically playing on the playground as a boy, you know, and he gets kicked multiple times in the balls and gets told that he will never, like I said, that nobody will ever want to date him, or he gets told that he's never, like I said, nobody's going to want to settle down with him, or nobody's or like I hope you live a long lonely life. The only thing the kid can do is crawl to the fence, traumatized. You know, the fact that the person knows about that, knows
Well,
how.
there's certain amounts of pain that you can experience where your only prerogative is to stay conscious and not to, is to maintain your uh is to not just expire from sheer, just like, it's just so painful that getting to the next day, or at least like maintaining your staying awake or staying aware, is like your only thing that you care about, which is like, it's kind of like fight or flight.
The thing is,
Um,
like I said, but then again, that also stay as a kid going through the trauma like that sticks with you for a long time, you know, and over time it
mhm.
begins to eat away at you, you know. Trauma like that will shape into a man later on. Like, look at
But
these
like
skinny
like I said,
people.
like the red pill. I just wanted to make a short comment based on what you said. Like, the red pill is not going to get rid of that. It's not going to replace
It's not.
the feeling of reflecting on that pain that was so intense that, nothing could remove it, or nothing could bring you out of that experience. Like, it's not to replace love. It's not to replace the joys of committing to committing for all intents and purposes to equal partnership. Not want to say relationship, but partnership with somebody.
And neither is getting married and having a family. You have
True.
to deal with that
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Because no one's gonna help you deal with that on
No
your
one
own.
can.
It feels better to deal with it on your own, to be honest, too.
Right.
Hmm.
And like I said, you don't deal with that type of trauma from childhood. Now, if that boy manages to get the squeak pie, he's going to be traumatized. You know, he's going to be traumatized, and it's going to reflect. Now, what's going on? What I think what I think is going to happen is, over time, things are going to get worse. You know, We don't need YouTube to grow. You know, I'm just saying, MGTOW does not need YouTube to grow. MGTOW does not need Anchor. MGTOW does not need anything to grow.
Doesn't need viewers. It doesn't,
It
well,
doesn't
they
need
could use you
viewers
can
to
use
grow.
YouTube to grow, because that's a lie. But I mean, however you grow is how you grow.
Right.
No one needs to see that, like it, subscribe to it.
Right.
No one has. I mean, no one should feel obligated to.
Right. It's a choice. Nobody should
It's a
feel
choice.
obligated to go MGTOW or Red Pill. It's a choice. It's a freaking
Honestly,
choice.
telling people to go that way is kind of disrespectful.
It is. It is a choice. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a choice. It is a choice. Whether you choose to go MGTOW, you're choosing a path where you have to basically you basically either you have to be have a conviction, certain conviction to walk that path. It's not always a permanent choice, but it's a choice. I like I said, you don't go MGTOW because somebody told you to.
Right.
You don't. You go MGTOW because you chose to go MGTOW. You chose it.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something you just shove down somebody's throat.
Well, it's turned into a consumer. It's turned into a commodity, right? How much MGTOW can you hoard? How much of your own way can you, I guess, retain? That is, and how much of that value is hinging upon society. You know, it's like people say MGTOW, and I'll get to these things. I want to plug this right, because so I'll just say this. I'll give Wind a little bit of I'll give Wind some time to close out his thoughts too, and then we'll get right on to that, because that seems interesting. But how much of that value can you hoard for yourself? And like, if you are going MGTOW to just, I guess, maximize your personal gain, then it's, yeah. I mean, then it's become, I was saying like commodity. It's become a commodity, but it's become like something that you can, I guess, just like hold over someone's head. Which in reality, I mean, it's your choice what you want to do with it. But then we got a lot of people who, I guess, are calling in order to get approval from the person, when their life by design is based on setting boundaries and not letting anyone into that inner sanctum, that peace, that serenity. And the moment you start to, I guess, wave it around, is when people start not come knocking. You know, and I think that, like, when it comes to like Shinobi 1, it's like, in your world, that was the right thing to do. You know, so what am I trying to say? Yeah, like, obviously it's not a permanent solution. No one should feel obligated one way or the other. Just do what's best for you. And the more you do that, the more you do the right thing, or the more you'll benefit from it, I guess, is all I really want to say.
Yeah. The thing is, it also, what I like I said, I'll tell you how it fits in with this current skinny jean cancel culture society. As I said, it is a choice.
Oh yeah, and don't think about it too much. That's all I was gonna
It's
say.
not a popular choice, but it's a choice nonetheless. And it's like overthinking. It allows
Mm-hmm.
you to recover if you do not overthink it.
Mm-hmm.
When you begin, in the term we call nuking it, you know, where you basically it becomes so much of a part of your life to where you overthink it to the point where you believe that everybody should go MGTOW. You know, no, you're thinking too much. You know,
Yeah,
you're
I'll tell you
thinking
that.
way the fuck too
And
much.
as a mental exercise, as a thinking pattern, is constructive to do for yourself. But if you're doing it for another person, it's like doing somebody's math problems for them. Like they're gonna
Mm,
pass, but are they really going to
learn.
retain the knowledge? Are they really going to
Are
learn
they going
anything?
to
They might
are they
learn
going to
something about
become
the
better?
world. They might learn something about the world.
But it's going
It
to be
might
through
be
manipulation.
yeah, and it's going to be a harsh pill to swallow later in life,
Yeah, like
as opposed to something that's like easier for them to wrap their head around in the immediate sense. Just do enough for yourself that you actually feel content within yourself, and don't look for any acronym to just describe you or something, because that's more antisocial behavior.
right. And it's like I ain't got no kids. Let me
Yeah, I'm
bring
not married,
like I said,
no
I'm
kids.
not married, I ain't got no kids. I'm trying okay.
I never had sex yet either. No, I'm lying.
Yeah. But the thing is, if somebody's going to come into my life, they're gonna be worth a fuck. They're gonna be able to socialize and talk about what it is. They're gonna be able to form a communication bond,
Mhm,
or they're not gonna be in my damn life.
mhm.
You know?
Yeah, because that's the get the point. That gets to the point where you're talking about rights and responsibilities and things like that. It's like I don't want to have I don't want to have anybody in my life that's going to try to hide things from me in order for me to accept them. Like if they're afraid if I saw the real them, then don't get in my line of sight.
Right. Well, what's the point of dealing with you? But yeah, we're
Mhm.
about an hour and 37 minutes in.
Yeah.
But,
So if you don't mind,
go ahead.
and yeah, of course. You guys, if you live a MGTOW lifestyle, uh, just be content with who you are and online. Try to live as try to live as carefree of a time as you possibly can. I know we got trolls and we got people out there that are going to exacerbate and try to shame us and make us feel bad, but trust me, the longer you go through this, the more those things are a non-factor, and the more your happiness is the main responsibility that you have over yourself. Because a lot of the philosophy itself is self-promoting, and it doesn't need to be commercialized. It doesn't need to be formalized or reduced down or
Dumb
overcomplicated
down.
or yeah. It is what it is. It's what you make of it, and this siren in the background wants to get in the way of the stream. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've been posting, so we'll try to make posts more often, and we will try to keep, I guess, just questioning the world around us in the manosphere, and keep asking questions and things like that, um, and just continuing to get to know people that we feel like we've invested the time in order to get to know, and people that are genuine and want to be genuinely a part of just a short moment in time with us. So more on this stuff later, more on this topic later. We'll come back to it, no doubt, within the week. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And Vedic Ghost, thank you for the facility, the studio, the jail cell. And yeah, going through these comments. When you pretty much already wrapped it up, but if you guys wanted to go subscribe to Wynn's channel if you haven't already. Obviously not a message to the people in the comments, because dang, everybody's been commenting so much on this video. thank you guys all for the support and the engagement. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna go out with the video from the beginning. So
the thing is that I mean, I'm gonna do my closing thing. You know, do an outro. Never jump into a dangerous situation to save or protect somebody else's irresponsibility, because it will lead to your destruction. Oh, and I got to do this for Tico. Treat yourself well, treat yourself right, just be good to yourself. Treat yourself like milk, do nothing but spoil yourself. Bye, motherfuckers.
bye, niggas, bye. Yeah, big shout out to Billy Goes, Billy the Goat, Duzangs, Shinobi One, MGTV. Everybody who's in the chat. I already said Billy, but Billy, you had good questions, man. I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you everybody for watching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my outro now. Just kind of, yeah. So, and no sweetheart or Win, no sweetheart said Wind always keeping it real.
Yeah, you got to.
All right, going out with a couple of these videos. First, I want to do this one though, because Tico's here. He's gonna like this one.
Cold tea.
Drag her, slay her, sipping on that true tea, hunty. Gag.
But that's life though. Life is tough.
Okay, you asked me what kind of guy I like. I like nice guys. I like someone who's really sweet to me, who I can have a nice. I would love a nice best friend for life.
Yeah, lovely meeting you, yeah?
Wow, that one.
Yeah. Also, look forward to this new a new season of this show coming soon. I'll just do a little preface, you know. We out.